Sunday Talk About, episode 14. Thank you for coming, and I hope you're having a good time so far. Well, today we're going to talk about Linda's songs that previewed actually last night on our Saturday night at the movies. Hope you had a chance to check out the film. The film is about forgiveness, the importance of it, and how we go through our lives. We all make mistakes. In relationships, it's intense, you know, we all go through these ups and downs. And ultimately, the bottom line at the end of the day, if we want to survive, it comes down to forgiveness. We want to share with you a fictional story that's in the film. We used our lives in some respects, our images as the basis of it. It's a story about a couple that moves to Nashville when they're very young, and they're very good songwriters, singers. And they try to get a part of the scene, become a part of the scene, and do what they do in Nashville. But ultimately, it's just a real struggle. It's a huge sea of other artists that are trying to do the same thing. And they go through most of their 20s trying to get a song deal. Finally, in their frustration, everything starts to break down. The relationship gets strenuous, and she writes a song called Seeing Triple. And that becomes a #1 hit. And then the next song takes us into the next phase of their life when they're in their 40s, early 50s, and they've had success and they've lived with success. They've lived with the successes of it, and they've lived with the failures and the trials that come along with it. And that's something that is part of the movie, and ultimately it ends in forgiveness. So it's a happy ending story. But we'd love you to check it out. This is episode number 14, Sunday Talk About.
Where are you going? Where have you been?
What's going on, man? I remember when you were a young guy and you would just climb up these trees. Now you're getting to be an old guy like me. Come on. Let's keep walking.
You sing, or are you looking for your answers through
We're back at home base here in the cottage, and we wanted to just keep the conversation going, maybe away from the creek noise a little bit. It's so wonderful being out in nature. But I wanted to share with you some of the details of the experience recording the song Singing Triple, and also Shattered Windows. We did them both in Nashville at the Parlor Studio. We had hired Brent Moyer to be our producer, co-producer. I produced it, and Brent also mainly produced it. But he put together all the details and set up the studio musicians and the location, and put all that together. Really awesome for us. Something we'll never forget. And also gave us an opportunity to capture our original music, be able to bring it to you 25 years later in the films we're creating. It was something else, man. It was a dream come true in many ways for many musicians, many of us, if not all of us, dream about the opportunity to be able to record in a professional studio in Nashville, let alone Music Row, and go through that incredible experience. Everything's incredible. Anyway, so I decided that what I'm going to be doing is getting a haircut. Oh, man. Oh, geez, life. Humanity. You know, I came up with a thought the other day. It was actually a good one. It was Lynn and I had dinner, her birthday dinner, and afterwards we met some really fun folks out in the parking lot and had some great conversation. And as we left, I thought, it just came into my mind, but I thought, you know, human beings, you know, it's really a human's being. We're humans being. And I don't know, it's a deep one, you know, you can think about that a little bit. The band was amazing. Ron Kowalski, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, but he was on the drums, and man, that guy, he had drummed with the Box Tops, Seals and Crofts, had a great history behind him, but he just had an attitude that was killer. He bounced when he drummed. It's like he'd hit a note and he'd throw his head from side to side. he just really, really brought the energy, like, and awesome. It's right there. So Ron was great, and in this particular song, we had two bass players basically we recorded these sessions over 2 days. We did 2 4-hour sessions a day, and the way that it worked out was the first day, the essential group. Ron was consistent through the whole recording experience, but the bass players changed each day. The violin, mandolin, dobro players changed each day too. So the first day was Wanda Vick, and Wanda had obviously incredibly talented, but she had been with a band called Wild Rose that was a really popular band I believe in the 80s or 90s. And anyway, she played dobro on the first section of songs that we did. She also played mandolin and fiddle on those songs. And then the second day, Tammy Rogers came in, and Tammy played fiddle and violin on that section of songs. Tammy is with the Steel Drivers. You probably have heard about Tammy. What she brought to the table was fantastic. There's a guitar player that sat in with a few of the songs. He's actually on the first song, C in Triple, and he played a baritone guitar on it, and it's just, I mean, I never really had experience working with one before, but it was really a treat. And Andy Most was his name. There's another song we'll do at one point called Tennessee Highway that he played electric guitar on, and just killer, right over the top. So that, along with I only remember his first name. His first name was Pat. But boy, he was a fun guy. He was a percussionist. He played congas and just different percussions, but just a fun attitude guy. And then his wife also sang. She sang on some of the backgrounds on some of Linda's stuff and my stuff, I think. But just overall great experience. Brent Moore, of course, played acoustic guitar throughout the recordings. I had the opportunity to play on some of Linda's songs. I play on C in Triple. I play a nylon string accompanying guitar. We actually had my brother Rick play the Stratocaster parts on that song. That we sent the files up to him in Pennsylvania, and he cut the track and sent it back. And this is back in 2004, so they were doing this stuff. They were doing this kind of stuff a while ago. But of course, everything was with a click track, so that made it real easy to be able to pull those techniques off. And from there, it just was a one thing after another. Great recording. The vocal work that I did on C in Triple was, the response vocal work was basically, it was Linda was singing the parts, and we were working the ending of the song out. And I thought, I got an idea. I like to sing these answering sections, and so I came up with that way. It wasn't something we planned out necessarily, and that happened a lot when we recorded, and that was the beauty of it. Once again, this is situations where it was basically first takes. We would sit down with the band in the beginning of the song, and and if it was my song, I'd play and explain some things, and he charted everything out in the Nashville charts, which is a really popular way to, that's the way these guys work. And it's a whole nother language. It's not like your usual classical musical charts. It's a whole different language. For those of you who don't know, many of you do, I'm sure. But anyway, we would do that, go through the song once, twice. They'd ask questions. They'd make sure they got their hits down. They'd be taking notes, and then boom. We'd hit it, and usually first take. Sometimes it would go through the whole song. They'd come back in and they'd do some editing because everything on a click track through Pro Tools, it was easy to pull that off and do it. So we were able to get our session work done in 2 aggressive full days. But with C in Triple, Wanda Vick's dobro playing is just, it's just really, it's just great. A great intro, great throughout, great solo work. She split the solo with Andy Most doing the baritone guitar work. And Ron just popping on the drums, hopping on his seat. He was just great. Dave Francis, he played the bass on that song. Dave was, was wonderful. He played electric bass. John Voight played upright bass. He played that on Shattered Windows. I didn't realize that until after I'd made the film. But then the more I listened to it, the more oh my goodness, I got the credits wrong on that one, but it'll have to stay that way. Maybe at some point if I redo it, I'll change that. But yeah, and then, making the film, it was just, that was an interesting thing to do. I thought, at first I thought I was going to make it about, the kind of the recording session, doing it. And then the more I did that, I realized, I would really like it if this was a narrative, if this was a movie, a story. And that's when I began to come up with this idea of them being young songwriters moving to Nashville and in their early 20s trying to get a hit song. And it didn't work out for them for years. And they were in their late 20s and they were getting frustrated in the relationship. And finally they got to a point where considering splitting up. This is in the narrative. This is a fictional story. So finally they get to that point, and she sits down and she writes a song, killer song, and it's called Seeing Triple. And they take that into a demo studio. They take the last money that they have. It's their emergency money, and they agree to do that and go in. He likes the song. He wakes up in the morning and hears her playing it. She was up all night writing it, and they make the decision. Let's go make a demo. Let's do or die here. And they did. They went and made a demo, and they got it to the right publisher, who got it to the right producer, who got it to the right famous young, successful Nashville star. And she covered it for them, and they hit gold. They got number one, and enjoyed the fruit of all that success. And then the movies switch over. They go into the next song, actually 20, 25 years later after that success, when they're in their early 50s, or in late 40s, early 50s, and they have a beautiful place there, and a horse farm, and all their dreams have come true, but they struggle with all the temptations of success, all the temptations of humanity, and everything that they did, and they made decisions that they regretted, and were honest to each other about it. But it's too much to bear sometimes, and it ended up that they were getting ready to divorce, and then she had a she just had a revelation. She was able to grasp the beauty of and the reality of herself being forgiven, and she forgave her husband, and it's a happy ending. So it's a great. I hate to give it all away because I want you to watch it, but maybe it'll encourage you to watch it even more by knowing the actual story. So that's kind of how it all went, and I was hoping that Linda would be here with us today to talk about it. But she's actually, she's been struggling with Lyme. She got a very severe case of Lyme disease at some point. Last November. She's still dealing with it, and she just couldn't get on the camera today. So she's keep her in your prayers, please. We just want to thank you for joining in and learning about our journey, and hope that our movies and our songs bless you. It's really our heart intention, and just keep your eyes on the prize, brothers and sisters. But bless you, and see you next week. Thanks.
Windows and behind closed doors.